So I'm gonna do like a trade recap type of thing for the week. I didn't trade on Friday because I just felt like I had a pretty decent amount of wins, and I was like, fuck it, I'm not gonna trade anything. I was 4-0 this week in terms of trading days. Not 4-0 a trade, just 4-0 in terms of green day and red day. So I had 4 green days, 0 red days. Took 8 trades total, so 4 wins, 4 losses. 50% win rate. Obviously, it's not spectacular, but it's still 4 green days. It is what it is. At this point, I'm doing an eval account, so I'd rather just have stacked up consistency as opposed to just fucking like 1 or 2 big ass wins. Starting off with January 12th. So I actually had 1 long that day. I'm gonna go ahead and place, what was it on? MES. Also, so I did MES on January 12th. Let's see what the fuck was going on that day. My entrance was 69.73.25. Boom. So I entered right around there, and then I left 69.80.25. So let's see, 69.80.25. Boom. Okay. Okay, so obviously a good long. I ended up being green this day. I ended up made $105, which is not crazy, but for an eval account, like I said, I'd rather just get slow, consistent wins as opposed to just fucking giant dildo candles. Did sweep out right here. We swept out high time frame. That's a 1 hour low, and it looks like it was already a liquidity sweep or something because it's a giant wick. Then we broke a structure right around here. So if I go, I bet you if I go to the 15 minutes, yeah, so it's a little more clear now. Yeah, so we had this big displacement downwards, broke right back out of it, and I guess I entered off of the premise that we have to fill this gap right here. Boom, boom, somewhere around there, and that kind of makes sense. I did leave it early, but I'm looking at the screenshot that I have of my trade, and the take profit was actually right at the beginning of this, so that's probably what I was going for. So we had high time frame break of structure, we had clear targets above with this fair value gap, and then also a pretty clear break of structure upwards. So I entered pretty much right at market open. Again, if I go back to the 1 minute, let's see. Yeah, so I entered pretty much as structure was breaking, which is not the best entry, honestly. It is a little risky because it's right at market open, so anything can happen. But I ended up working out for me, definitely. January 13th, I actually had 3 trades this day. I lost 2 in a row. I remember this now. I lost 2 in a row, but one of them I was pretty much break even. It was only negative $5. And then I ended up making, I think, 58 on the day. My first trade that I'm going to show right now, I lost $100 even. My second one was negative 5, and the third one I made 162.5. So if I get rid of this now, we're going to go to January 13th. My entry price for this first one was, it was a short, by the way. It was on, oh, that's why I fucking lost. NASDAQ, this bitch-ass index. That's why I don't even listen to this trade. This trade was bound to fucking lose, bro. It's NASDAQ. Fuck NASDAQ. 13th. Jesus Christ. Okay, boom. Right here. So my entry was... Entry price was 25985. My exit price was 2601. So obviously it did not go in my direction. 2601.5. Okay, so here I remember this trade pretty fucking well. NASDAQ and SPY did a really big divergence, and I ended up getting the shit end of it. So right here we're breaking down structure, our big ass displacement overnight, right? High time, or this is at the time all-time highs. I don't know if we broke that actually. Have we broken it? No, we haven't. So this is still all-time highs, right? We start breaking downwards, go back up, down, and then out of nowhere, and like I said, a big displacement between these 2 fucking indexes. NASDAQ decides to come back all the way and almost sweep out high time frame, which also is at all-time highs. You go down to SPY, let's see, MES, not meds, right here. What was this on the 13th? Just never fucking happened. Yeah, it went up a little bit, like a little bit of a thumb, but that's it. Is these 2 lines right here. It was down, the initial move up, down, a little bit up, and then boom, price fucking drops, which is what it's supposed to do. But on NASDAQ, what happened was some bullshit right here. Right here. So we got the same thing. Initial move up, starts going down, comes back up, down again, break structure, clearly down. Decides to come all the way back up, almost sweep out highs and all-time highs, which is still relevant to this day. This is still an all-time high. And then price goes down. So I entered right around here with my stop loss, probably somewhere around here. and then I just got fucked. My next trade, I'm not even gonna show it. It was pretty much fucking break even. I lost $5 off of one tick, so that is what it is. It was a long right around this point. Yeah, so those two trades were both off of Nasdaq, and they both fucking sucked. Honestly, the trades weren't even bad, but Nasdaq is just a fucking awful index. I hate that shit so much. Boom. Okay, so this is pretty clear. Break of structure. I remember we had this giant gap here. We tapped into it. Nothing happened, so I just assumed that we're gonna keep going down. And my confirmation here was this little wick up. Nothing happened. So then I ended up going for a short with my stop loss probably around here, maybe the beginning of this gap now. That probably seems like me. I think I did have it around the beginning of this gap, like right around there. That was most likely my stop loss. I remember this trade as well. I did cut it short. I've been doing that a lot recently. I think that's something I gotta get better at. But I have probably something like this going on down to this liquidity. And I ended up cutting it, as you can see, around halfway. Which, I mean, it's fine. I ended up making more than I lost for the day. And left with like $60 profit. I did get a little, I guess, paper-handed with my trades. I kind of just saw green and I left it right away. And most of my trades did end up going my direction, aside from the obvious losers. But everything else aside from that has been in my direction. So I think for starting next week, I want to just be more confident in my trades and stay in them longer. Because I've been leaving way too fucking early and it's been costing me. Like, this account is only up $300. And it's been 2 weeks of me doing this eval, you know? So I think that's something I should work on. But yeah, we had a clear break of structure downwards. And I kind of saw, you know, break of structure right here. We broke past this liquidity. They tried sweeping it. We broke down again. So I knew that wasn't anything. Came back green, down again, and then at that point I was like, yeah, this is gonna be a nice short. So around probably this week, I want to say, when it started to climb back up, I entered. Left with 162, and that was it for the 13th. So let's move on now to the 14th and see what the fuck we got going on over here. I had 3 trades this day. 2 of them were losers. One of them was a big winner. First one I ended up losing on a short. It was negative $60. Second one I ended up losing on a long was negative 33.75. And the third one, I ended up winning off of a long, and I made 244. We did have a big inverse here. We filled it, and price ended up not breaking below it, I believe. I think maybe that's what I entered off of, right? With my square, boom, right here. So we had this big inverse gap. Price ended up not breaking below it right away, and then I saw this green candle, so I most likely entered when it came back down a little bit. And then as you can see, just one giant fucking fell swoop, boom, right through. But I think I'm still pretty proud of this entrance. I had all my confluences, clear break down, clear break up again, and then inverse gap, came back down. It's kind of testing the price, nothing happened, didn't break below, came back up green, didn't break below, back red, didn't break below, back up green, and then I was like, you know what, fuck it, it's not going to break below. It's 4 candles already, since actually 5 candles that has touched this wick, and nothing happened, so entered, and then the next candle I just got completely obliterated, but that is what it is. Let's move on to the next trade. I had, let me just clear this out. I did, for this trade, I think it was because my initial bias for bullish got obliterated here, and then I saw that we just kept dropping. Try to break structure, we never did, and then I entered for a short, thinking that we're going to keep dropping, which we did, but I was very tight with my stop loss, which is what caused me to lose this trade. Realistically, I should have had my stop loss probably up here, chasing something a lot lower, maybe somewhere over here. Probably made more sense if he's chasing like one of these liquidities, yeah, something like that. But I ended up playing it very tight because I already lost in the day, so I got a little nervous. Revenge trading, if that's what you want to call it. But that was another loser. Now let's go on the win for the day. Boom. So pretty substantial chunk here. I think I put this order block here that I just put. We had this candle down, candles back up, candle down, break of structure, but I'm assuming I played off the fact that we never broke back down below it, and also this break of structure here. So I entered for a long, and this one went my way pretty quick. I remember this. I was definitely stoked about this trade. I had my stop loss right below here, chasing this, and it was actually this high right there, but it just gave me a bad fill. Stopped me out, I think, what, 2 ticks below, a tick or 2, something like that. But that's fine. It was just straight green, didn't even touch my stop loss, and that was my 3rd trade of the day. Ended up giving me plus 247, sorry, 243.75, and that ended up giving me back, I think, $110 in the day. Let's go on to day 4. This is my final day trading this week. I had, I think it was just one. Yeah, I played one short pretty early on, and this is actually a funny ass trade, but let me just find my metrics. So let me just find my zones. Yeah, I remember this. Okay, so I played this really early on, like pretty much right at market open. I think it was at least. Let me just double check. I shorted from 7,005, right around there. Yeah, this one was very muggy. You'll see right now. It didn't really make too much fucking sense, and I'm glad what happened because it ended up giving me the win, but I should not have won this at all. And I'll admit that. Alright, so we had right here, short, entered here. My take profit was, I think, down here maybe. No, I was definitely chasing, one of these lows was a 15-minute or a 5-minute, and I was chasing one of them. Boom, and then my stop loss was right above this liquidity right here. And what ended up happening was, I said it was a funny trade. I entered this trade, it started going in my direction pretty fucking quickly, and then I had to take a big ol' shit. So I left, I came back, I was on my phone. It did end up going down here. It would have given me, I think, plus 400. That's like the highest I would have gone from here and here. But I ended up leaving it at plus 93, giving me my 4th green day in a row. But it never hit the final take profit, so this would have been a cuck. If I let this sing, like this whole thing would have fucked me up. Thank God I had to fucking go and I had to go. I'm not too sure what to do for the rest of the weekend because I didn't trade Friday. Monday, we don't have a fucking trading day because markets are closed. Thank you, Martin Luther King. So I'm like, fuck, I got 4 days to do absolutely nothing but just keep pushing out content. I'll probably be back on Tuesday with the next episode. I think it's episode like 9 or 10 or whatever, this eval account. And like I said, 4 green days in a row, so probability is probably going to make me fucking lose my next day. By the way, I've been using this thing that I created on Notion. It's a template right here, TraderOS, and it literally shows me fucking everything that has to do with my trading. So I have a table overview here. With a little note that honestly I don't really update that often because I feel like it just takes too much time. But if you want to update your note, go ahead, update your note. It shows you everything from asset class, symbol, date, position type, market, entry, exit, etc., etc. All my wins, all my losses, all my break-even trades, and even a snapshot of all the trades. This is the first trade I was looking at. This is what I was going off of when I was getting my my levels of entry and exit. And if you scroll down, you even have like a little psychology area, which honestly I'll admit, like I don't really update too often for myself because I like to have everything in my head. But if you're into that type of thing, you have your daily bias for the day, you outline what you're trading, what you're looking at exactly, your reasoning behind that trade, emotional state going in, session, result, etc., etc. And pretty much like a little reflection of what the fuck happened, whether it was a win or a loss, what happened to you mentally, what happened to you in the trade. And then also down here, you can check this off every single day and it will reset. Just kind of outlining your pre-market check, whatever you do for the pre-market. You can even add stuff here if you'd like. And it's all organized pretty well. It's got a weekly view on top here. This is what I was basing my trades off of right now. This week, January 12th to 18th. This is the first week I had this account from the 5th to the 11th. If you go to monthly view, you have a whole month of everything you have, your total profit, total losses, whatever you got to do. And you can go to calendar view to show a calendar view of exactly what the fuck was going on. Like I said, I started from the 5th all the way down here. I think it's my favorite feature of it because it shows off all my wins and all my losses kind of visually. And instead of just looking at numbers, you could see green means win, red means loss. And finally, it shows you your win rate, exactly what the fuck is going on with your trade. So I had 21 trades so far this month on this eval account, and my break-even percentage has been 5%. My win rate is 43%. And my loss has been 53%. And I think this has really helped me because I get to look back at all my trades, kind of like what I just did in this video, but just for myself to see exactly what the fuck I'm looking at and see where I maybe could have gotten better. Take a snapshot of my chart and kind of just look back at these things, you know? Exactly why I left. Maybe I was, being hesitant like I mentioned earlier. I want to get better at. The best thing about it, I think, is that you don't have to pay monthly like TradeZella. This is completely a fucking blessing in disguise. You pay one time and that's it. Just let me know. You can either DM me on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok, whatever it is, or click the link in the description. That's also going to be available 24/7. And yeah, I think that's all I have for today.